Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Welcome everybody. Now this is going to be one clip of three, but the three clips will be all put together and I'll do it as one video. It's Thursday morning, we had the hangout last night, so I've been working on the little diorama. Now since last time, what has changed? Now I know you can't really see it, but I have put the trim on all the way around the base. That has been sprayed black, gloss coated, and also it's being taped up so I can carry on building. Now the building has actually been taken off of the base and it's been raised up because I was a little bit low with the base actually, because I needed to get footpaths and bits and pieces in, so I was just a little bit low. So I've actually taken it off, I've lifted it up using a lintel, which I've run all the way around and round the back, which I will show you in a minute because it did come in as a good benefit. We'll look at this side first, then I'll put you on pause and we'll turn it round so you can see properly. What I've been doing on this side, well, you can see I've put a hole through. I've started doing some bullet holes and bits and pieces like this. The plaster's been all finished off, and I've also put on some beams that actually protrude out the wall outside. Now I did notice on the actual buildings they've actually got these, so that's the reason why I've put them on. So they've been put on. The plaster work or render work has all been put on and finished off this side, and I started to do a little bit of weathering on it. Not too much, but I like to do a little bit as I'm going along, just to get them layers. So that is all that side. I'll put you on pause and I'll turn it round and we'll look on the other side. Onto the far side. Now I did say I was going to cut a hole for a doorway, which I've done, and I've lined it out, still using the lintels to line it out with, just to give that effect of a concrete edge. I've put some plaster sheeting on for the render, started a few of the bullet holes. I will get round to doing a bit of weathering on this, but I just cut this out and got on and did these bits. I've also done the plaster work at the top. That is now going to be ready for a little bit of weathering and fiddling. So that's that side done, and we'll move around now to the back. Okay, now onto the back. Now I did say I run these lintels round, which turned out as a benefit. It's actually given me a nice lip all the way around there, and that allowed me then to actually cast a floor. I just did this with some casting powder with a little bit of grey or black paint in it, just to give it that grey concretey look. I've also started doing some of the weathering on this floor. Isn't finished yet, but we're getting there bit at a time. And really that's about it. I'm going to move on very soon to put in the rebar out the ends of these beams, but that will be probably on the next clip. Okay, another clip. Now I did say there was going to be 3 clips. There's only going to be these 2 because I spent one night doing a lot of soldering and a lot of messing about, and there wasn't really enough to do a clip the following day. So what's been done? Well, to start off with, I would just like to tell you that this has changed direction on the way it's going to be let out eventually. I'm not going to use the Terminator on it. The Terminator just doesn't look right and it doesn't feel right to me. So what I've decided to go is that I'm going to do this a sort of all British contingency. I'm going to go for a Warrior and a Land Rover, I think. Not quite sure yet. I'm still looking around for these bits and pieces, and all British troops, and they're very difficult to find. As we all know, the British, we didn't have much to do in the Second World War or any any of the other conflicts. We mainly stood around drinking tea and discussing the weather, because trying to find figures in action poses is very difficult, but that's another story. So that's the direction I'm going down. I've already seen the warrior in that built. A good friend of mine, Beasley, he's actually built one, and we were discussing it in the Hangout. And if I can get to any close to the standard that he did his, I'll be happy. So we're going to be going down them lines of making it more vehicles and figures, because I think figures along this far side wall would look pretty cool. Now, enough of that. What I've actually done. To start off with, I can just get you in a little bit closer. There we go. Now, I've laid a footpath down. I've used the curb edgings, but I've laid them on the side just to give a bit more of a chunky effect. Now, I've looked at quite a few photographs. They did have sort of footpaths of some shape, size or description, and I'm just using artistic license here. We're in a posh part of the city, so we've got a footpath. I've used decorator's filler straight into it, leveled it up, and then I've used wax modelling tools to gouge holes and cracks all the way around. It has had a little bit of weathering done, not much. The bulk of this is going to be covered in dust because it was it's very dusty across there. People I've been talking to said it's dust everywhere, so a lot of this will be covered up with dust. And now moving up, a little bit of weathering, bits and pieces have been done. I've also put a cable in. I used a piece of 1mm cable, and at the end I've used 3 pieces of 0.2, painted one red, one green, one black. I will do some close-up pictures and tag them onto the end so you can see a lot better. But I've just done that so it sort of like shows that it's been, blown apart. Now moving up, I've made these type of baskets which I've seen on a few of the buildings. These are made from 0.6 wire. I've just soldered them up. They're not fixed, they're just placed there at the moment because I need to get on and get these frames sorted out and weathered. Now, I started making these frames because I was talking to quite a few people, and they said they were just pieces of metal concreted into the actual block work, and they actually hung the shutters on them. So that's what I've gone for. I've used aluminium foil off them platters, them serving platters that you get, because it's quite thick. So I've used that and made some box section up, and they look pretty good actually, because you can bend them and twist them. And I've also used that actually to make the doors with, but we'll get to that in a minute. So that's this side all covered, and like I say, I will do some pictures a bit closer up so you can see what's going on. The only thing I wasn't happy with is I tried to sort of like do the clips that actually hold the cable on, and I tried to use it by just painting, and it hasn't come out too, no, I'm not happy with it. So I am going to make some little clips up. I have actually got some Ming nuts and bolts and rivets. I might be able to use them just as a indication of a clip, but that will be sorted by next time. Now I'm going to put you on pause, I think, and I'll move everything around and we'll take a look on the other side. Okay, now on to the far side. Now there's been quite a bit done on this side. I've actually made the doors. Now I made these from the same foil that I made the frames from. I tried to do them in styrene, and they just didn't have that bent and warped effect that you couldn't get it in styrene actually. So I went over to the foil. I know you can't really properly see them, but I will do some close-up pics and stick them on the end. But they turned out pretty well. I'm quite happy with them. you know, I'm more than happy. Moving up, we've got the other part of the cable. Drop down, we've got the 3 wires again, all painted, one painted red, black and green, which leads up to the air conditioning unit. Now the air conditioning unit is just made from some 0.8 styrene. All I did was drill a nice round hole in there using a little, well, not a little bit, I think it was a 10mm bit. And also I made a small fan just to go, or propeller, whichever you want to call it, just to sort of like indicate that it is an air conditioning unit. I couldn't actually make a circle. I found it very difficult to try and get that done. So what I did, I just did bars across, and I just used some 0.4 wire, soldered them up, missed a couple out, made it look a bit knocked about, and you know. It sits on just some angle iron. This is 0.8, I think, or not. No, it's not. I think it's a mil. It's a mil angle iron in styrene. Just made some brackets up for it to sit on. I've got the cable coming into it, and also I've got the 2 pipes going up the wall and in. Now, a lot of people tell me that the air conditioners used to sit on the windowsills. Okay, he's got all of a bit of a posh one, so there will be an air conditioning unit inside. I just felt like doing it anyway, and it looks pretty cool. Moving on, another basket, which has done the same, and I've made the frame up for this window, which is bent over and damaged. Probably will be a bit more damage done to it by the end of the duration. So that's this far side. Now the back, there's no real point in me actually showing you the back because there's been nothing done at all there. There's only these 2 little bits of wire poking through, and that's it. So really that's it for this week. It's just an update, just so you can see what's going on. Hopefully you'll join me on the next one. Until then, thank you very much, and we'll see you then.
Let's begin now.
This is not a drill.
Repeat, this is not a drill.
Is that all you got?
Let's begin.